never found a love like this. There it is. I've never found a love like this.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. We've had a good few days off. We're revitalised, refreshed, and ready to go for Southampton. To my right is Lucas. Down the bottom there is WestHamOnline, aka the Ben Rama hater. And we're going to discuss all things Danny Ings, Ben Rama, and much, much more. Lucas, how are you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm sore from a workout, but you know what? Could be worse.
WestHamOnline, how are you doing, my compadre?
Good.
He's a man of short words, right? But he will have a lot to say tonight. I cannot stress that enough. Right, let's start off with one thing that has been mentioned. It's a little quick thing, but it would be interesting to see what your thoughts are. Is this, Lucas, one of your American compadres, has been targeted for West Ham. What are we saying about that?
I really don't know. As much as I really do love Serginho Dest and he is American, I would like to see an American or two possibly at West Ham. I'm conflicted on him as a player at the moment. I wouldn't say he's a bad player by any means, but he definitely hasn't lived up to the billing of which I wouldn't say Americans have surrounded him, but like he definitely was like sort of a prodigy a bit coming up. And he got his move to Barcelona, didn't work out, got loaned out to AC Milan. That didn't work out, so he'll be going back to Barcelona. Or he might be back there already, and then he's going to look for a new move. But it's I'm a bit conflicted because he does seem to be more of a right wing back instead of a right back. But again, it all depends on how the rest of the season goes and who's going to be in charge in the summer. Because let's say Moyes stays and we play like some sort of back five or something, I think he'd be a great wing back. But as a right back, and say we don't upgrade Emerson. Say Emerson stays and he is our left back going forward. We can't have Emerson and then a player like Dest both playing fullback. We'd be too weak and get absolutely just tortured on a counterattack. So,
do you know
I do like him as a player, though. I think in the right system, he can definitely thrive.
Do you know what? I actually think he's a good. That'd be a good signing, mate. 22, he's going to improve. I know people say he's failed at Barcelona and Milan. They're big clubs. This is West Ham United. We will take him and we could develop this guy. The only problem with him is he's got a bit of an attitude problem, which is a bit of an issue. But I don't know. I would definitely have him, though, 100%. He's sort of standard that West Ham need. WestHamOnline, what are you saying for this?
I am not a fan. I think...
No?
Are there any Americans that you rate, Alf?
I like Pulisic in the right team, I think.
Because during the World Cup, we had some back and forth that I did not agree with. But from what I know, you do not rate any Yanks.
They don't have many good players, I will say that. But Serginho Dest, I do not want him. Every time I've watched him, I've not been impressed. I don't think he's particularly good. Obviously, he's got a bit of talent because he was talked up about a few years ago. People were reckoning that he was going to be the next best thing at right back. Unfortunately, he's not. He's just an American Ryan Fredericks. No, thank you.
Oh, you arse bastard. Lucas, respond to that.
Jesus.
Ben Fleet prick.
I'll tell you what. He can't be compared to Ryan Fredericks because Serginho Dest can actually dribble and do things that Ryan Fredericks could never wish of doing. But Ryan Fredericks does have some blistering pace. I'll give him that. And he was
Pokey the cutie.
And he was an all right defender. Like I said, Serginho Dest is more of a wing back. He can play all along the right flank. He actually has played left back as well, but he is definitely more of a wing back. Like if we had him at the beginning of the year, we would have been cooking maybe a little bit.
He is crap. No, thank you for me.
No, thank you from Alfie on that. Right, let's get into it then. Right, I see something on another channel. I just want to know what you lads think about Moyes versus the backroom staff. Is there a massive divide that's going on at West Ham at present? Anyone who's in the chat, please do put your questions in about this, and we'll have a good discussion about this one, because I understand it. I've seen a few things on different platforms, and I understand what people are saying, but Moyes is the boss at the end of the day. Even though I don't want Moyes here, yes, they have to do what Moyes says, and there's a lot. It's a bit of a divide going on at West Ham at the minute. WestHamOnline, what do you make of this?
There probably is a bit of a divide, yes, which is natural when you're doing poorly. I'm sure that divide wasn't there when we were doing well.
Agree.
But I do think the players are getting away with it a bit. Obviously, I heard on probably the same video you watched that the players, the quote from the person who was spoken to, this agent or whoever he was, I don't know exactly who this person was.
I've seen it from all different types of angles and sources, and videos.
But, I've heard, the players are trying for the club. Don't worry, the players are trying. The players care. They didn't show it against Brighton.
Agree.
If I had a bullshit alarm on the top of my head, or a siren, it'd be going off wild right now.
Lucas Paqueta and Scamacca are apparently next best thing on the training pitch. I'm sorry, Paqueta and Scamacca, obviously good players, but I'm not buying it. Don't get me wrong, they're good players, as I just said, but Scamacca can't get a start for Italy. Paqueta didn't pull up any trades for Brazil, according to Brazilian fans. So, yes, they're good players, but they aren't these world beaters that they're being painted out to be.
I agree. Listen, I don't always agree with Alfie, but I do agree with him on this. When we look at £50 million Lucas Paqueta, and I do see people having digs at Saeed Benrahma, £50 million for Lucas Paqueta seems to get a pass ahead of a lot, and he's got to do a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Than what he's actually done, in my honest opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? I think the players get away with it, fucking massively. Like, I can't stress enough how much they seem to get away with it.
There's so much blame on. Again, it's just like anyone else. I mean, I'm kind of in the minority, I would say, me and Alfie, but like we blame Moyes to a point, but these players, I think, honestly get away with murder. And when I hear, and what Alfie just said, like, oh, the players are playing for the club, bullshit. If you did, we would know. We would 1,000% know, because then we would say something, or like it's very evident when you see someone actually like fighting for the badge. And let me tell you, I didn't see that against Brighton. I didn't see that against Brighton. Still, to me, is like one of the worst things I've seen with my two eyes at this club. Really.
Well, I've seen some. I'll be honest with you, Lucas. I've seen some shit over the years, but when I watched that game, that was one of the ones where I looked at it and went, "Fuck me," we've massively declined.
It's just ridiculous how, like, again, people can say I sit on the fence or whatever, but I like to say I see things from all different angles and both sides, and I just can't believe the bloody murder these players are getting away with. Again, I blame Moyes as much as the next guy, but these players are professionals at the end of the day, and they got to look themselves in the mirror as well. But
is anyone WestHamOnline accountable on this? Like, when you say about people who like players, when I look at Deck, and people have got their mixed opinions on Declan Rice. For me personally, I think Deck's been a good player this year, but he hasn't been world class West Ham. That's one thing I will say.
The thing with me, with Declan Rice, sorry to cut you off, but like,
disgusting.
It's been a weird season for him, because we can all agree he hasn't been vintage Declan Rice by any means, but it always seems like he'll have a really good game, and then he won't have. Then let's say he'll have like one or two runs of matches where he plays very well, and then let's say the next one or two, he's not playing bad, but like his captain's performance, when we really need a captain's performance, him to like step up and really like really do something that isn't like really football related, he kind of just like, I wouldn't say lets us down, but it's lacking.
I think, I personally think, and I'd like to have everyone in the chat, and I'm going to get to West Ham Online. I personally think it's Moyes, 2 it's the players, 3 we've had a lot of bad luck. Like if we all go through the season, the Chelsea away game is where it started for me. Like the VAR and all that was just terrible. We've had shit luck with injuries at centre half. But let's be honest, right? There is no excuses next week. Southampton, Newcastle, Fulham. Yeah, Zuma and Aguerd will be together in a back 4, not a back 5. And basically, there is nowhere to hide now. Do you know what I mean? All the players are back fit. I just think it's just a calculated thing of everything, really. I think Declan has been talking about leaving West Ham and going to win trophies elsewhere. That don't look good for anyone. That's going to cause a divide in the camp because people are going to look at him and think, well, are you really cut out for this? Like, do you know what I mean? Because if you're leaving anyway. What do you make of everything West Ham Online in regards to the backroom staff and everything?
It's a tough one because Moyes is definitely a stubborn man. A very stubborn man.
Agreed.
By the way, I did see Nick's video. That's what I was just referring to. Yeah, he's a stubborn man. He thinks that he's right all the time. He clearly doesn't listen to his backroom staff much. But at the end of the day, we're making the assumption that he doesn't listen to his backroom staff.
We do not know for fact at all.
There is a little divide there, though. I will say that.
There's a divide, yeah, but the previous evidence would suggest that he does, because if it's true that Moyes didn't do the set pieces in previous years, then clearly he's listening to his staff on that regard.
Agreed.
We've got a striker coach as well. We've got different kinds of coaches. So to solely blame the manager and say that he's taking the crush for everything, I don't agree with. But as I say, I do believe he's a stubborn man. I do believe that he thinks he's right all the time. And he is stuck in the 90s a bit with some of his ways. But he's got a right to be a little bit stubborn based on what he's done in the last 2 years. But as I say,
is that a credit? Is that a credit to his backroom staff, though, West Ham Online? Yeah, he's
done a good job. Some of them are clueless, to be fair, but some of them done a good job. Irvine, I think, was brilliant for the club. But at the end of the day, I'm assuming as well, because I weren't in the back room. With Moyes, we can judge. He's the manager. He's the face of everything. We judge the team based on what we don't go, oh, that's the assistant manager's job. Oh, that was because of Kevin Nolan. That was because of Pierce. We just assume who is good in that backroom.
The only backroom staff I can accredit anything to directly was Nevin with the set pieces, because we knew for a fact that Nevin was on set pieces, and we were obviously brilliant. And when you look at the surface of what's been said, how apparently Nevin's been taken off set pieces, and now Moyes works on them, and just other stuff, like, until that actually comes out as fact, we can only assume. Like, we really don't know that.
But our eyes don't lie to us. When I look at West Ham, really, and you are analysing West Ham as much as I see West Ham, like, it's not good. Like, set pieces are absolutely terrible. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Every time, and let's be honest, when you look at West Ham's style of play and attack, I'd love for someone to tell me West Ham's style of play at the minute. Like, it's just like, it just seems like we're hoofing balls into Danny Ings, who's nowhere to be seen. Scamacca can't header a ball, and Antonio's very hit and miss. Whether you love Antonio or hate him, he's very hit and miss.
It's just all very frustrating because, like I said, I think a lot of people are too fixated on one side. They either hate Moyes or they're upset with the players, yada, yada, yada. There's never a good mix. It's very toxic. But, like, even when the tactics aren't doing great, we still fail to execute when we get the chance. Like, I know the tactics, good or bad, will set up either more or less opportunities you get during a match. But we have gotten opportunities during matches that are like just National League level execution that you just, like, you've got to make that play. You've got to make the pass. You've got to get a shot on. But we fail to do that either way when we've played well or haven't. That's the issue, and that is down to the players. But again, negative tactics do not help at all.
Yeah, but surely, the backroom staff must come together and say, right, this is the situation. Right? For me, I don't understand why Warburton's here. That's the one person that I look at and I think, I just don't get why you're here. You don't bring nothing to the table. The only thing you've ever done that's been any good is bring Flynn Downs to the club.
And again, I always talk about, or not always, but today, especially facts and assumption, whatever. We know for a fact what Mark Warburton was brought in to do. We have heard, and it's been stated why he was brought here. So therefore, we can make a judgment on him, and he's been shit. He hasn't done anything, and that's evident because the first half of the year before the World Cup break, we tried playing this 3 in the back possession based style, and it was absolutely atrocious and lifeless. We'd have 65% possession, whatever it was, and we didn't do anything. We might as well just had the ball in our own half and just sit there. That's what it felt like. We no progressive passing at all. It was just sideways, backwards, go forward, come back. And now, at least, we changed it up a bit, and it's different, but it's still not good enough. But it's evident because we've made, I think, 2, including Warburton's influence on our style of play in the first half of the year. We changed our style 3 times now. We've gone from a 3-4-3 possession base. Then we've gone to a legit 5 in the back, and now we're back to 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we're back to that, and it is frustrating. But these players need to execute when the chance is given, and regardless of negative or positive tactics, they have not executed at all.
The thing is, West Ham Online, I know that you've been very much a Moyes supporter for a long time. Yeah, I don't like it, but I respect it to a point because you're a West Ham fan like me and you've got a difference of opinion. The problem I have is with Moyes is that if he was to leave tomorrow, there is no one out there other than Warburton to come in and probably replace him to the end of the season. And the problem is, and this is my argument, that when I do see stuff on Moyes, is that we've left it so late in the day, there is no choice now. Right? Do you know what I mean?
My take on it is, do I think if the dressing room was perfect, I think Moyes could keep us up quite simply and possibly win the Conference League. But, and there is a but, and it's a big but, it's juicy. If the dressing room is that divided, and if everyone has actually given up on Moyes to a point where they disagree with everything he's saying, then he's got to go today, he's got to go tomorrow, and he's got to go the next day, because if no one's going to...
Wow! Alfie, you just dropped a clanger there, brother.
Well, if they're not going to listen, if the players aren't going to stick to his ideologies and agree with them and play them out the way that Moyes wants them to be played, and if everyone's given up on him, then it's not right for him to stay, because in any job, even if you're an accountant, if the top dog, if no one believes in him and he's doing a shit job, I mean, you have to sack him, despite what has happened in previous years. If Gordon Ramsay rocked up to the kitchen tomorrow and for a year straight produced the shittest pizza you've ever seen, the pepperoni's all over the place, the dough is all stuffy, and to be honest, it's not even cooked well, he'd get sacked. But
oh, you Brits don't know what good pizza is anyway.
You don't know what a fucking good pizza is if you see one. 100%. Let's get to this from Stevie. $4.99. Steve Bell, thank you very much,
Thank
mate.
you,
Really
Steve.
do appreciate it. The support is grateful, brother. What's the Southampton fans' preview of the game? They seem to think that we are there for the taking and that Moyes is so predictable in his lineups.
He's been predictable in his lineup.
I think his tactics are predictable. Lineups.
Yeah.
I think we've actually done all right with different flavors of lineups this season, if we're just talking about the league, but obviously overall in general because of European play. But I think we've kept it not as tight as what some may say.
Let me ask you this, right? This is an interesting question that I just thought of, right? But if we stay up and we get to the final of the Conference League, and Moyes does leave at the end of the season, how will Moyes be remembered in your opinion?
No, not a legend. In all seriousness, he'll be remembered as the best manager we've had in the last 20 years. If we stay up and he gets to a Conference League final, he rightfully has earned that title through what he's done at the club. Despite what you might think of him now, and despite what you might think of his ideology as a manager, the proof would be in the pudding if we stay up and we reach that final. And it would be an easy decision as well.
What about you, Lucas?
In terms of, and again, some people, everyone watches football different. Like, I watch in terms of results, and that's what I'm basing this off of. If he leaves at the end of the season, keeps us up, and we get to a final, let alone hopefully win it, he would easily be the best manager we've had in quite some time. Because, I mean, really, John Lyle's probably our best because he's won us 2 FA Cups. But in terms of league finishing, adding silverware to the cabinet that we haven't seen in God knows how long now, 43 years, I think it is. I mean, some people will hate it, but like that's the sauce. That's the truth in the pudding. Like silverware, we finished 6th and 7th. He's helped us survive relegation in a time of need. I think he'd easily go down as one of the best we've had, especially in 20 years.
Right, let me change that then. If he wins the conference and he stays next year, how would he be treated amongst the fan base? Because I understand it. Listen, I'm going to say this, I'm going to land on this. I understand the frustration with the fan base with Moyes. I get it. Yeah, I'm with every single one of these people. Yeah, because I've been like that for a long time. I was the first one on his channel to come out of it. Then it was Mitch. Then you two sort of followed suit after that. Yeah. The problem I have with Moyes is his adaptability to change isn't good. Right, it just isn't good at all. It's too slow.
He's too slow. Yeah.
Yeah, right. And the thing is, the players that we've got have to perform also. Right. I think a lot of people can blame Moyes, and I can understand that. I would probably give Moyes about 80% of the blame, but 15-20% of it all shared around is other issues. It really is other issues, big time. There's players who don't want to be here. There's players who won't sign a contract. There's players who are not performing for the shirt.
A lot of deadwood.
a lot of deadwood in this team. I think the transfers have been a shambles. You've got too many players who are playing basically in multiple positions and not natural positions. I look at other players and I see players being shoehorned into positions. I use Ben Johnson as an example. People want Ben Johnson to sign a new contract that's worth about 40, 50 grand. I won't give him $5 grand at the minute the way he's playing. But he's got the audacity to come out on podcasts and criticise fan channels like us and other fan channels, saying about basically we don't know what we're seeing. Our eyes don't lie to us at the end of the day. And when someone, and not just him, other players and all, Thomas Soucek, another one, even Benny to a point, which I will get onto Benny later on, he's been very up and down. Things have to be accountable in all aspects, not just at David Moyes.
The only thing I can say, and again, to answer your question, people will hate it. They're going to hate it. They won't be happy. But the way I see it is, if he wins the Conference League, we should obviously be on top of the world. We should celebrate that for as much as we can. And then when reality hits that if he does stay, I believe if he were to get another year, and I'm not saying he should, if he did get another year, I wouldn't say like it's disgraceful to assume that we wouldn't continue being poor because after what we just saw. But this is the way I think about it. Another year of Moyes, that's another summer of working on what we tried with. The players are getting more acclimated with each other and the league. And again, we all know this year was rushed. It was rushed in what we were trying to do. We tried to rush a however long project into 4 or 5 months. So if he does get another year, the odds are saying, and that this is just fact, there's no shot. Like, let's say we finish anywhere from 15th to 17th this season. I would bet the house that we do not do as bad next year.
I don't think they can afford to get rid of him unless Sullivan leaves. That's my opinion on that.
That's what I'm saying. That's another thing that, again, some people are fixated on the players hating Moyes and even Sullivan to a point. But I get not really prioritizing Sullivan because it's tiring at this point. We all know. Like we hate the guy. But
for me personally, I don't look at Moyes as a problem. But I don't want him here. I look at Sullivan as the problem, and I always have. When I look at David Sullivan, I think a lot of people, and I do see it a lot on social media and everything else, no one is going to the kingpin at the top of the tree. No one's saying, well, come on, Dave. Like, what are you seeing that we're not? Do you know what I mean? Fair enough, he's backed Moyes, and I understand that. But when I look at it, I think David Sullivan don't really care anymore. Right? He's not financially interested in West Ham anymore.
This is literally like just a wager to him. This is a throw for him because if he legitimately cared about his business and making the most money possible, he would have sacked Moyes before the World Cup break. As much as I like David Moyes and have enjoyed what he's done for us from a business perspective, which I can decipher between as a business decision. If I was selling the club and we were playing as bad as we are, like, why would I gamble the biggest investment of my life with the biggest return?
Unless an agreement has been in place and a price has already been set. And I've had this discussion before, and I've turned around and said, I think that he's already set. End of the season, he's gone regardless of whatever happens with West Ham. Because if you set a price on something, and let's be honest, if you'd have asked any West Ham fan last season, do you think West Ham will go down this season? 99.9% of people would have said 100% no. Yeah. So I think it's already set in stone, mate. If you want me to be real, that's what I believe.
And that's 100%. What I think the ideal scenario should be. He stays, keeps us up, gets us to a final, hopefully win it, and then he in the club, however it's done, they both walk away mutually. We thank him for his service because, again, I don't care how you look at his tactics. At the end of the day, he's done a lot for the club, and it should be appreciated. But there is always a time to walk away.
I agree. WestHamOnline, do you have a final say on this before we move
on? I think even if we win the Conference League and stay up, Moyes should go at the end of the season because he has lost the dressing room, and I don't think he can play a passing style that people want to see. It's just going to be, we'll do better next season, but the fans are going to be unhappy again because we're going to play counter-attacking football eventually. The players will end up in the same boat. And it's just good. To be honest, I think long term, I couldn't care less because all I want is to see West Ham win a trophy. But long term, I think winning the Conference League won't be a good thing for us. I don't care, as I just said, because I want to see us win a trophy. But I think it would keep Moyes in a job.
I do agree with you on that.
It's a really tough one because I do agree with Alfie to an extent. Like, if we the more like if we win in Europe, we get back to Europa League, like it's gonna keep getting tough, especially if let's say if Moyes stays. Again, I don't think we'll do as bad as this year. That's just the odds. But even if we get someone new, that's another year of adapting to another style, and then a whole new manager, and then new players. It's just a lot of it's weird. There's a lot of change going on through success. Obviously, the league has not been a success this year, but like we're still doing well in Europe.
The only thing I will say, is that when I look at the league, right? If you'd have said to me at the start of the season, West Ham's going to finish 12th, but they're going to get to the final of the conference, I would have accepted that. Yeah. I never accepted that West Ham would do the same thing what they've done over the last 2 years because they can't sustain it. They just can't sustain it. Other teams have got more financial resources, better players than us. Yeah. So if West Ham do get to a final and do win that competition and finish, say, 13th, 14th, has it been a really bad season, or has it been a season where you can sort of bypass it and move on to the next? Don't get me wrong, I don't want Moyes here, but unless we are literally adrift, and I do see people saying that West Ham are cut adrift. We're not cut adrift, right? But if we win against Southampton, we get out of it, and next week is massive. Like, I can't stress how much next week is huge. Like Southampton, Newcastle, Fulham, right? Are we going to be sitting here in a week's time talking about like a completely different scenario? Do you know what I'm saying?
I hate, and Joe, I'm not suggesting Moyes stays next season.
Yeah,
I've never said that. But to answer your question, if we finish 13th, 14th, and win a trophy, absolutely you can bypass this season, 1,000%. Because the mission ever since the World Cup break is to stay up and hopefully get as far as we can in European competition. Because we all know that being successful in the league just was not happening this season. So staying up has been our goal practically half the season, maybe a little bit more than half. So
from the moment we come back,
the goal that Germany have just conceded to Netherlands, have just seen the highlight on Twitter. Kara, oh my god!
Yeah, I know, mate. I don't even want to go into that, but that's another topic for another time.
You could easily bypass this year if we win a trophy and stay up. And again, like Alfie was saying, as much as I want to be in Europe, as much as I want to win a trophy, I do think with everything that's going on at this club, it is going to set us back a little bit. And it's going to be hard to maintain that standard because we've got so much constant change going on right now at the moment.
At least it's exciting.
It's exciting, I don't think
it's
is
never
the correct
dull.
word.
100%. It's never dull at West Ham, mate. Right, let's move on to this hot topic of conversation.
And it doesn't keep me on my feet. It keeps me in my bed, just sad.
Well, this is going to keep you on your feet, on your toes, everything, mate. The Saeed Benrahma agenda. I posted something earlier on Twitter, and WestHamOnline retweeted it, and I got a load of abuse from the army of fans that he's got. I don't understand what the crack is with Saeed Benrahma. I really don't. I think he's done all right this thing.
I don't understand the crack about him.
Right, but the thing is, I can praise him. WestHamOnline can't, and he just
I can. You know I can.
Don't get triggered in this. This is going to be steamy hot. Do you know what I mean? And Lucas is the ref. Talk to me, WestHamOnline. What is the issue with Mr. Benny then for you?
There's no issue, but I saw a tweet today. Someone tweeted out Benrahma in the Championship, and it was him doing loads of flicks and rainbow.
Oh, mate, I've got to admit.
That was me. Go on.
It was good to watch. It's good to watch. Yeah. Brilliant. Lovely. I loved watching it. Should have switched on an F2 video, but I loved watching it. Right. And then you had that Lears Baduzzi or whatever he's called. He's a podcaster. I actually quite like him, but he tweeted out, Moyes is British-fied Benrahma. when Ben Rama
What?
every
Go on.
week,
British fried. Ugh,
he's
what
just
a
not that
terrible word.
good. The problem is you can't do rainbow flicks, nutmegs every 6 seconds in the Premier League. And by the way, those are his highlights. They're not showing the nutmegs he's failed. They're not showing the rainbow flicks that have smacked the defender square in the face. They're not showing where he shanked it into Rosed. I mean, I could make Lucas look good if I made a highlights video.
That's why me personally, when it comes to being linked with new players, I hate watching highlights. I want to see the lowlights. Like if I'm gonna say scout a player or like get into him, I want to watch like not a whole match, but like a couple halves, which I guess equal out to a whole match, obviously. But like that's the way I would look into it and make an assumption, because these highlights that people put out are they're so like misconstrued and like they just make things look way better than they are.
Yeah, and people that I can't have this thing about Ben Rama and
that's not a shot at Ben Rama.
Ben
by the
Rama
way,
is the most loved player in the fan base. That man could shoot one of our fans and he'd get away.
Not a chance, mate. Not a chance. Declan Rice is the most loved player at West Ham.
He has more haters than Benny. I'm not even joking.
I don't know about this season.
Never in a month of Sundays, bro.
Yeah,
at all.
I think this season Ben Rama might be more loved than Declan Rice.
Yeah, and great. Oh, brilliant, Benny. One goal.
I agree.
I've got to disagree on that. So you're telling me, right, Ben Rama is getting more love than Declan Rice when everyone says about Declan Rice.
Loads of hate for some reason.
Right? But Declan Rice doesn't want to be at West Ham anymore. He wants to go and win trophies elsewhere.
Yeah,
that's the reason. That's the reason I think everyone.
Believe it. Right. Daniel's just dropped the worst football opinion I've ever seen. Declan Rice can't pass or tackle. He's saying, Daniel,
right?
You need to turn the telly off, mate.
No, online, bruv. Right? I knew you was going to chat some bare bungles tonight at WestHamOnline, so I was ready for it, son. Right? I've seen the stats of Benny. Listen, I'm not going to say that Benny's been absolutely amazing, right? But he has been decent.
Has he been a hammer of the year?
No.
Well, considering how shit we've been, he's got to be up there, isn't he?
And I don't want to hear the.
He's up there.
And I don't want to hear.
Let's be honest.
Rice has already won it. Rice is our best player.
What you're about? Would you just fucking magic up a clip from?
I can't. But Daniel, he's the best tackler in the world.
Hammer of the year. I don't care what he's got to say about Declan Rice, because that's a fallacy what he's talking. But at the end of the day, Hammer of the Year goes to A, the best player, or B, the most, or a mix of influential and best. And I don't disagree. Ben Rama, easy top 3 best influential players this season.
Yeah.
For us. But no, again, I think the love for him this season is at an all-time high. And I've always, and again, we all know like the Ben Rama shit that's gone on in the past, and it's still prevalent to this day. But I like Ben Rama, but like he's had a decent year. He has not pulled up any trees by any means.
But has anyone in our team?
I haven't been happy with his
But that's not the thing. That's not the thing, though.
And everyone's going on as if he's been incredible, brilliant, Benny. Take the shackles off, and he'll be the next player.
And don't ask if anyone else has, because that's the answer. No, but Ben Rama also, he's been decent like that.
Right. I'm going to say this. Yeah, I've heard what everyone said. He's the only one who can score a penalty in our fucking team.
Oh no!
Right, that's the first thing.
I actually agree with that.
Declan Rice,
that doesn't mean
Jared Bowen,
he's amazing.
Antonio, all 3 of them can't score a penalty fucking between them, right? But Benny can score 3.
You know why?
Hold on.
You know why they can't?
Why?
Because they're filthy Englishmen.
whatever way you put it, you know what I mean? But he can't score a penalty. Lanzini, someone just said there about Lanzini, but Lanzini don't play. So when Ben Rama plays,
Lanzini was playing, people wouldn't be going, "Oh, Lanzini's got to play because he's good at penalties." I mean, you don't play because they're good at penalties.
But to be fair, it does have a bit more to his game though, Ben Rama.
Well, yeah, he does have a bit more.
I'll tell you what,
I
Ben
can't
Rama
keep
can.
giving
Ben
this
Rama can
penalty.
run. Lanzini cannot.
If
Right.
Ben Rama didn't take penalties, it would say on his stats that he's got 1 goal this season. That's not good enough.
I mean,
It
he's got
isn't.
1 goal this
Ben
season.
Rama is definitely not hammered here.
Right.
I can't even stress it enough.
Right, Lucas,
So
can
silly.
you get Ben Rama's stats up for me, please, mate? While I carry on with this discussion with the two amigos at the bottom. At the end of the day, right, I can't believe
Where's my
what
gun?
I'm hearing. Right, you've got a player there who's assisted goals, he's scored goals, he's been an influence in Europe to a point. He scored goals in
From
Europe.
open play, his
Right.
goal contributions have
He's
been
shocking.
unacceptable.
Right, but
Terrible.
I will say a but here on that. But has any of them been acceptable in attack?
No. But
No,
Rice,
but
but
it doesn't
Rice
mean
first
you
half
have
of
to pass
season
up Ben
was
Rama.
consistently good. Second half of season he's been a bit hit and miss. Still good, but a bit more hit and
It's
miss.
been inconsistent.
But before the first half of season, he was easily our best player.
Yeah,
When Benny was good, Benny's just dropped off completely.
So give me your
It's
top
very
3.
inconsistent.
Give me your top 3 then, Mitch.
Rice,
Players
then
that-
gonna be
Rama,
hard.
Rice, then Ben Rama, then Emerson.
No, I'd say that's decent, to be fair.
Oh, I don't know.
And if Emerson keeps up these performances, he will go in front of Ben Rama because
Yeah,
every
and
game he's
again-
played almost, he's
And
been
again,
good.
that three besides Rice, so
Right.
Ben Rama and Emerson. Again, Emerson has been decent, not great, but he's been decent. But that doesn't mean like just because he's
I'm
one of our.
further. I'd say he's been good.
Okay, then. Let me ask you this then. Yeah, you're saying Emerson, right? Is that what you're telling me? Emerson.
What?
Is your
Emerson,
third?
what?
It's
His first
your
place,
third-
yeah.
Yeah? No, for Guerrero straight away.
No, I've been poor lately.
No, he's been too hit. I think
Don't-
Emerson's been more
don't.
consistent than Agued.
Yeah,
Lately
don't-
though,
don't
he's
knock-
been hit or miss.
Don't
but-
knock the Moroccan general, bruv.
He's had very shaky times.
Don't
Emerson
knock
hasn't
him,
had as many
mate.
shaky performances as
So
Agued.
you're telling me, right? So tell me the difference between Emerson and Agued.
Emerson's
How many man of the
Agued's-
match
Agued's a
performances
centre
has
back,
has
Emerson's
Emerson had?
left back.
Right? How many man of the match performances has Emerson had? I will wait.
Is that how you're
One.
going to judge it?
I'm going
Is
to
that-
judge it on
how many man of the match
performances.
performances you get?
You can't judge
Not
it.
the fact that Agued has, in the recent months, had 2 good
Right.
games and 2 bad games, where
Right.
Emerson's
And
been consistently good in every single game.
Well, name me the games that he's been consistently good in, then, Mitch.
Every single game, Emerson. I can't really think of a game where he's been bad
What?
since the new year.
Did he play against Brighton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was our best player.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, he was.
He
He
He weren't
was.
our best player, mate. He weren't our best player, mate.
Yes, he
No.
was. We discussed
Fucking
it in the
no,
program.
no,
no,
Said he was
he
our best
was.
bad player.
He was. Emerson was linking up play, and everyone else looked
Right.
absolutely.
Man, I've got to take a
terrible.
major fucking L on that one. Big time. What a prick.
James, can I do my top 3?
L to you.
Go on, man.
My top 3 is Rice, then a massive gap.
Yes, Alfie, bang on. That's what I'm trying to say. The gap between Rice and then our second best player is
Yeah.
even
And then-
when
and then-
Rice being inconsistent, the cliff from that is just
And then I'd go with
Agued's obviously better than Emerson. We all know that.
Yeah.
Since Christmas, I think Bowen's been good. So I put Ben Rama.
I wouldn't say good.
I think he's
Fucking
been
good.
Good.
Good
Yeah,
at what?
good.
Shaking
Good.
his missus?
No,
Fucking
good.
hell.
I know
Who's
he's
that?
good at.
Who's
I
that?
know he's good at that.
Has Bowen been good this season,
No,
Mitch?
since
The second.
No, he's
Since
not been good
Christmas.
enough.
Since
this
Christmas.
Has he been good? Has he been good the second part of the season, Mitch?
He's been all right.
Yes.
So he's been all
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Real quick. Ben Rama stats for you.
Yeah.
In the Premier
First off
League,
season, terrible, really bad.
24
like, shocking.
matches, 15 starts, 4 goals, 3 assists.
Wonderful.
I think that's decent, man.
3 of them are penalties.
Yeah, but who else can score a penalty, Alfie? Like,
Yeah,
one on the
I don't
pitch.
care that much about penalties. It's a free.
Right, so okay. So we're in the final of the conference. We get a penalty in the last minute, right? Are you going to care?
Yeah, okay then.
Right, so it's irrelevant then,
Yeah,
right?
but
Because
James,
you care when you want to care.
No, because it's not irrelevant. Because
I'm just seeing someone say that I'd give Lanzini third in Hammer of the Year.
no, but it's a fact that if a player's taking penalties, he's going to get more goals than someone who doesn't take penalties. And yes, I know the other players have missed penalties and all this rubbish, but you've still got to factor it in.
The only point is I appreciate him banging in those penalties because, like we said, there's only about 3-4 play. Well, when you think about it, we've got like 3 or 4 I think are capable. Like Paqueta scored his. I think Scamacca can bang a penalty. Lanzini and Benrahma proven.
I know Bone missed one against Liverpool, but
Paqueta could score.
It's because they're English. They don't know how to take penalties. They go the same direction every single time. Keeper's right and low every single time.
So how do you perceive it within West Ham Online then? Because I know you are very much, you don't like to give this geezer any praise at all. I've seen it on Twitter.
I'll give him praise, but I'm not giving an attacker that's got 1 goal in open play heaps of praise. Some of our imagine that. An attacker, we nearly at the end of the season, he has 1 goal in open play, and our fans are saying that's he's hammer of the year over Rice.
No, you know what? No one deserves praise this season, in my opinion. Not a single player.
I agree on that.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Yes. I would like make the player of the year void.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly. So we'll give it hammer. This is what we're talking about now. So we're giving the player hammer of the year for the best of a bad bunch. That's what we're talking about. So it's not necessarily about praise, Alf. It's about just kind of sucking up and saying maybe he deserves second place.
No, because it's not that.
Ben White doesn't deserve praise, but he deserves to be second place, in my opinion.
No, but that's not the point. I agree with what you're saying, but Benrahma gets so much praise, like unbelievable amounts of praise.
He does, but again, that's all because people who are for Rice, or sorry, against Rice, say, because what he said about England and he wants that. They've got more of a thing about that where they'll push him down for his performances this season.
No, but people have been doing it like even last season. I remember it. There's always been the people that love Benrahma, and I'm pretty sure. I don't know how much Benny's paying these people, but
he's paying me quite a lot, Alf. I'm not going to lie.
Southampton's up there, to be fair, as well. I'd say. I'd probably give him 4th place.
Fucking hell. I remember you calling him a crackhead before the start of the year.
I was, but who else? I'm just thinking, who else? Like, there's literally no one else.
When you go through our team, there isn't really a lot. Like, if you was to go through it and go man for man, you could say Antonio to a point, but he's not been good, really.
Antonio not.
Scamacca's been not good. Ings is new.
It's got
should be.
It's got to
be up there for 50 mil.
It's got to be Rice, Benrahma, and then you can fight between Emerson and Aguirre
honestly,
if you want.
I do think though, if the only reason at times that I put Benrahma second is so I don't get loads of backlash. I've honestly, I don't even know if I'd put him there.
But like as an overall campaign so far, I do think Benrahma is probably our second or third best player, but again,
do you know what?
He did have a very good start to the season as well, didn't he?
I've got to get to this comment here. Yeah, I had to see it. Him?
No, he was crap. I'm sorry, he was crap.
Thompson was terrible.
No way.
Terrible.
He was awful.
Well, no defense.
It was awful.
Yeah,
really shaky. We were saying, it's because he wants out and that he's not playing well because like he's not heads in the game.
Funny, by the way?
Not a chance at the start of the season. Maybe towards the back end of it.
I've got a point to make here. Isn't it funny that when Dawson was crap in the first half of the season, it was okay because he wanted out and he's still the legend, Craig Dawson. But when Rice isn't incredible, it's because he's down tools, he wants out.
Well, let's just be real. The difference of reason wanting them to leave is completely different.
And let's be honest here, Alf. And you can't question this, right? Is that he's at an interview at the World Cup and he's saying he wants to go and win trophies? That's not what West Ham fans want to hear.
I get what you're saying because of his performance, but I mean the reasons of them both wanting to leave could not be more polar opposite.
I do agree with Lucas here.
No, disagree, and I always disagree.
What do you mean? One of them wants to leave. No. One of them wants to leave because of his family. He wants to be closer to his family. The other one is personal gain.
No, that's not my point. That's not people were defending his performances, saying, "Oh, he's only playing poorly because he wants out."
I've got to admit, I've never seen that. You see more than me, but I would. Yes, I disagree. I disagree with that. But at the end of the day, one wants to leave because something's happened in his family, and the other just. I don't want to call it selfish, but it's definitely for him. It's a him move.
Yeah, well, rightly so. He should have left a year and a half ago. We're lucky he stayed this long.
Yeah, but Alf,
he's judging him.
Yeah, but he's a representative to West Ham United Football Club. That ain't really a good look, is it?
Well,
as the captain, Alf, you've got to agree, it's not the best thing to come out of, is it?
Who cares? He didn't.
Mate, you're the captain. You can't do that.
You are the captain, Alf.
So, Alf. So, are you looking at this? Yeah, and I've got to say this, right? But fuck it, I'll say it anyway. Yeah, you're looking at it from a personal, him as a person, not him who represents West Ham United Football Club and who's the captain of the ship. Because let's be honest, if we go down, he's gone anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't understand why it's acceptable for him to start saying about he wants to move and all that.
Yeah, but
I don't see other players doing that at their clubs.
He's never actually said he wants to move. People just paraphrase and lie when they paraphrase.
Well, he said he wants to go and play at the highest level and win trophies. Now, West Ham ain't won a trophy in 43 years.
The highest level could be West Ham responding, getting back to the top, or England winning the World Cup. Right,
but then also he's rejected multiple contracts at the club.
Rightly
so. Also, right. But I don't understand why you're more leaning towards him rather than the club.
What's wrong with him rejecting contracts?
Well, he's rejecting contracts because he doesn't want to play for West Ham in a roundabout way.
Yeah,
he wants to move on.
Yeah.
So is that good?
Well,
really?
Of course it is, because if they're offering him a contract, he's not going to. There's no. I mean, it's not.
Is that good? But is that good for West Ham United?
No, but it's something we have to deal with. We made him club captain. By the way, he rejected contracts last season. We knew he weren't going to accept a new contract before this season, and we still made him club captain. So we knew this was going to happen. It was so obvious.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with rejecting a contract, but when you're doing it after what he did at the World Cup, it looks bad. It looks bad.
Richard, why would he not refuse a contract? If you're at a job and you're the best person there and you're struggling, just because you're the best person there, you're not going to accept a contract. You're going to move.
Yeah, but he's got no. How can I put this, Alf? Yeah, he's got no intentions of doing progressing his career in West Ham.
Yeah,
like he's got no intentions of making West Ham a progressive club. He's looking at it from his own game, which is I want to go and.
Which is understandable.
It's understandable.
But he'll be earning more money. He's thinking about his kids, about potential future.
But Mitch, let me ask you this: is that what you want to hear as a West Ham fan?
It's not, but it's what we've heard all our life, and you can't blame him. You can't knock him for it.
Should he be coming out with that halfway through a season when we're fighting?
No, I don't think it should be.
What do you mean coming out? I don't get you. What do you mean by coming? What do you mean by coming out?
Right. When he was at the World Cup, there was an interview. Right? I saw the interview clear as day. The interview, he was talking to people on the interview. And he said about what his aspirations are, basically in the future. And he goes, "I want to go and win trophies. I want to go and play in the Champions League, and I want to compete at the highest level." Now, to me, he should say, I don't want to discuss that right now. I'm talking about England.
Right.
Yeah? So I can understand. Hold on now. Let me land, and you can have your say, yeah? So I can understand why people get the hump with Rice to a certain point, because he's looking at it from his own game. Right? I like Declan Rice. I think he's a world-class player.
We already knew.
Yeah.
Something we already knew. Didn't even have to be said.
I can't believe I'm reading in the comment.
No, come on, mate. Then
I agree with what you just said. He should not say what he says in interviews. He goes too far. He's done it for years.
Yeah.
But people on social media and in the comments saying, why would he refuse a contract? You've got West Ham tinted glasses on. It used to really wind me up when teams would tell players, like when Grealish left Aston Villa for Man City. It hasn't worked out as much as it should have. But people were going, why would you leave your boyhood club? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he have done that at the time?
And this is what I'm saying. If he never came out and said what he said at the World Cup and then is doing what he's doing, I would totally understand it because, like Mitch said, like if you want to win trophies, you want to progress your career. That is professional sports. Like,
earn more money. Come on.
It's obvious.
It's your job.
It's so obvious what you would do. He's not even a West Ham fan. Not a West Ham fan. Plays for the club. Done well for the club. You're going to join a better team.
He is now.
See, I understand it. Right, I do understand what you're saying. See, I look at it from both sides of the coin. On the side I look at it is that he represents West Ham United. He's the captain of our club. Yes. And personally, that's not what you want to hear from your captain, who's the best player in the team.
1,000%.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so I can't sit there and go, oh, well, it's all right. He's on 200 grand and he wants to go and better his career. Right? We can't change our club. He can. And that's what I find, which is a bit of a problem when he wants to up sticks and leave.
The problem is, I agree with anyone who says he shouldn't say what he says, despite the fact he's just answering questions. But he shouldn't go as far as he says. But anyone saying, why would he leave? I mean, you're just living with your head in the sand.
That I agree with. I agree with that.
It's like...
Because that's just professional sports.
Yeah. It's like saying someone who plays for a Sunday League team shouldn't go to an academy when they're called up because they should have loyalty to the team. Why would
as much as we'd love it, I mean having a player like that's 1 in a million. Yeah. Like Mark Noble is legitimately.
And Mark Noble isn't as good as Declan Rice.
Bobby Moore didn't even stay at West Ham.
No, he didn't. No, Billy Bonds managed Millwall, for God's sake.
Right, I understand that. I do. Right? I really do. I understand what you're saying there. Yeah, but I'll just look at it. There's some people. I will say myself. I can't speak to anyone else. When your captain is acting sometimes for the better of himself rather than others, then it does irritate people, mate. I can understand why people get irritated with him. WestHamOnline. I really do, bruv.
I get it because we're going around in circles because I get what you're saying about the comments, but someone's just put a good comment there. For example, if someone came along to you, James, and said, I'm going to triple your wages. No, quadruple your wages because at the moment I think he's on about 50k. And you're going to move to a new channel, but I'm going to quadruple your wages. You're going to be on a better channel, more people watching, etc., etc. You're going to do it, even though you've got loyalty to this. 9 out of 10 people would do it. Like, it's just what you do.
I'll be honest with you because I think I know the comment that you're going to say, so I'm going to bring it up on screen. Ben makes a good comment. James, if you asked if you wanted 1 million subscribers, fuck me, I love that, and you said yes, does that mean you are no longer care about E20 and only have eyes on moving channels? I understand that point. I do. Yeah, I really, really do. But then I do look at it that you have a duty of care at West Ham to do your job to the end of the season, and by all means, I will clap him out of the ground. Like I would. I'd say, you know what, Deck, you've done great for us. Thanks for your service. You go and do and be who you want to be. But at present, it's not a good look when we need this geezer to be galvanising the squad, getting behind the fucking the backroom staff and saying, right, we all come together as one, as at West Ham United, right? I understand it from a financial point of view, but I think Black Country Hammer just said it in there perfect. This is about money. More than anything, he's looking at the pound note and going to another club.
I don't think he is.
Progress.
I don't think
if he was, then if you look at, he would have signed a contract last year.
When we offered him
to. Yeah, but West Ham had complete control over this. Let's be real. West Ham had control over the Declan Rice contract. That's why it's been wearing down. West Ham have been trying their hardest to sign this geezer.
Well, there's no reason apart from us as West Ham fans sitting here with rose-tinted glasses on. There's no reason apart from gaining the loyalty of the fans, which the fans don't deserve anyway because they've turned on him, so they can piss off. There's no reason for Rice to stay. There's literally no reason.
Go on, Alf.
I do agree with that. I think the way some of the fans in our fan base are treating Rice, yes, he's not been as good as a captain as what I think he should have been. I think recently his captain-like attitude hasn't been great.
But it doesn't take away from the player that he is.
To say he's not been hammered here, to say he's been shit,
disgraceful.
To say he's been disgraceful, and say that that's it, they're fed up, and that's it. They don't give a fuck about him anymore.
But let's be honest, though,
it's wrong. It's wrong. Because he's given so much to the club already.
Right. But I understand that. But a lot of people are looking at him and thinking, you don't want to be here. Like, do you know what I mean? And like,
it doesn't.
The way I look at it, No, but listen, I support West Ham United. I love this club. And when your best player wants to fuck off and doesn't want to play for you anymore, then that is a problem, isn't it?
But James,
it's a problem.
People have made up this narrative, and I keep seeing it. And luckily, there's a few people. Shout out to Nick on Claret and Booze because he defended Rice. And I know people, and we know people. Rice hasn't given up at all. Like you, literally, anyone who said he's given up,
I don't think he's
creating this ridiculous narrative in their head.
His attitude ain't as good as what I would like it to be, and I think I was seeing it. Was it the Brighton game where he just put his head down?
Yeah.
But to say he's not in the game, like it'll come out against Southampton the weekend, and I'm pretty sure he'll put in a good performance.
Right. See, the thing is, Mitch, what you just said there, I agree with. But then you say about the fan base criticising him and all that.
You look on Twitter.
I've seen it. I've seen it. Like, but I've got a bit of a different opinion on him. I look at Deck, he's done so well for West Ham. Now, I don't think any West Ham fan would begrudge Declan Rice moving at the end of the season. Right? If anyone does, then it's going to be a small minority of people who just can't handle that he's got to go. Right?
I think it will be 40-60.
I disagree on that. I think if he keeps us up and we manage to do something in the conference, he will be clapped out of Stratford, 100%. The only thing I have with him is that I've seen so many interviews with him, and it just grinds on me a little bit that he's thinking of himself 6 months down the road.
Which, but, in theory, that he is, and as much as we think by technicality, that is selfish. He's being selfish about his career. But at the end of the day, I just don't want people to think he's moving for the money, because that's far from the truth. He wants to win trophies, which, again, I don't blame him. But as a fan and supporter of the club, you never want to hear that. But, again, if you're going to leave the club to win trophies, by all means, you do what you got to do, and you want players here that want to be here. But he's not – if he wanted money – he would have accepted 200 bags that we offered him.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
And the whole thing, the only thing that hurts is that basically he's gutted us twice. No matter how you look at the presser that he did at the World Cup, he's gutted us twice. What he said wasn't horrible, but as a captain of the club, you can't say those kind of things. And then two, we already knew that he wanted to go and do whatever, win trophies before that anyway. So it's just two stabs to the gut when really it should have only been one that we all already knew was coming. That's.
But do you think though? I'm going to say this before we move on. But do you think that this is probably one of the main issues in the background with Deck? Because we all know that he's going to go. They probably know Moyes knows. It's like we've got a player there who's just going through the motions.
I don't think he's as much of a problem as what people think, because I genuinely do believe, even though Alfie said he doesn't support West Ham, he's not a fan. He is. Yeah. He's got to be now. We all know that for a fact. But
the captaincy's been put on him, and he's only young still. So, because
he hasn't
been no
up.
leaders in the club in recent years.
Yeah,
I agree on that. With Dawson, but Dawson's gone. It's hard to look at it and go and pick a captain. So
he hasn't given up. But
again, he should. I think he should have done a bit better with the position of captaincy recently. But I think we covered it all now. Really, we're going to go around this. I think we covered it all. To be honest.
And again, some people are on the pitch. Some people are only on the pitch.
It's just annoying. I find it really annoying.
Some people are only on the pitch because they're a good captain, i.e. Jordan Henderson. I don't rate Jordan Henderson at all. I think he's one of the most overrated Premier League midfielders that has graced the pitch. But he's a great captain, and he's got proof of being a great captain.
Thanks,
he's a nothing bastard.
Lee, thank you. James will buy you a pint at the end of the season, Lee.
Mate, I will buy Lee an E20 out. Evening, lads. Hope you're all well.
E20 merch.
Much appreciated.
E20 merch coming soon.
Yeah, Moyes smiling on a white T-shirt if you want it. And it
was
no. We're gonna have a Moyes head smiling, but it's gonna be under a door that says exit.
Yeah. Right. Well,
with his back turned to the London Stadium.
Right, I'm going to lighten the mood a little bit. Right, I am going to plan to do.
Sorry.
Fair enough. West Ham Online. You carry on talking over me. Thank you very much. I am going to lighten the mood now, and we're going to do a nice little clip of. I found a clip, and I'm going to do a clip show probably Thursday, and get all the lads on and discuss this clip. Now, this is a clip of me, Tom, and Mitch discussing Mikel Antonio's performance against Silkeborg, I think it was. And take a look at this.
Because it's Silkeborg, he goes, I'm not going to run as much. I'm not going to, as Tom said, for the Lyon game, it was like, massive game, let's turn up. I want fucking players to do it every game. That is the wrong attitude to have when you go out. I'll tell you why, and I've always fucking said it, slim down, you fucking cunt. He's a massive lump. He falls over all the time. What's the best idea? What's the solution? Let me think. I'll cut more? No, incorrect. Slim down. He falls over all the fucking time.
For a big geezer, Tom.
He starts doing that shit on the sideline when he's like trying to dribble past someone, like a big lump.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I'll never forget what you said to me before. You said, James, he needs to leave West Ham and become a doorman at Brentwood or something. That's what you said. That's all listen, I love Antonio, but I agree with Mitch. It's like, he just drives you mad. He does.
If you want to be a fucking professional footballer, you want to improve, well, slim down, you cunt. Or become a professional doorman at Box Park or Brentwood. Your choice.
And that is Mitch's clip, mate. So anyone who wants to watch any of these clips, I'm going to be doing them Thursday. So
issues of Gavin.
Little tape. What'd you say? So I got anger issues.
Yeah.
He hasn't got anger issues. He just don't like you, West Ham Online. Right, let's move on to this.
I'm seeing you Sunday, didn't I?
Yeah. Right, Mitch, start off with you. Does Ings start on Sunday for you against his former club?
No, he can fuck himself.
Carry on, mate.
I think that means no.
I only want to see him come 10 minutes. I've seen enough of him to realise he's lost his first touch. He's slower than ever.
Yeah.
The way we play is that we sit deeper and we attack from deep and we try and hit teams on the counter with a bit more directness.
I think I'd rather have
balls in behind, balls on the top.
Yeah.
Everything that Ings does not thrive off. It's not about then we should bend the way we play to suit Ings' style of play. No, we shouldn't.
Ben Watson is just like, he's glued tonight. Big up Ben Watson, mate. He said, I'm fascinated by Mitch's aftershave collection in the background.
And he's
got a bird now, or three, whoever he's got. Mitch, who is the replacement for you on Saturday in attack then, if Ings doesn't start?
No, I've really not thought about it because it's fucking hell, but food's come flying out of my mouth. Fucking hell.
Fair enough.
So I literally just had food before. Come on. You know what? It's been so nice having 2 weeks of just getting out fucking football, just fucking relaxing, chilling, having a good time.
I think the first week's always nice, but when it's a 2-week break, the second one for me always that's when it's like.
No, I could not give a fuck. I want the season to end. Nah, I've had enough. Do not give a fuck.
Yeah.
I'd start Skamaka.
Ooh. West Ham Online. What about
Antonio, either or. Don't give a fuck, to be honest. Just not Ings.
No. Fair enough. West Ham Online. What about you?
Antonio starts for me.
Do you know what? I'm actually with you on that. I look at Ings. Ings just don't play well against his former club. That's another thing. Why Antonio for you, man?
Because Antonio is that dog. He's the guy. When the going gets tough, Antonio's the one who turns up. He'll run the channels. He'll let Bowen come centrally. Bowen plays better when Antonio's on the pitch.
I love a striker that runs down the wing.
Antonio's that guy for me, and he's almost certainly the main man on Sunday. Have that from the hamster.
If Skamaka started out, would you be disappointed?
No, I would be sad if Ings started, but I think he will.
I think he will, which is it's disgusting, really, isn't it? And that is another problem, boys. The amount of times I've said Scamacca should start this season, and he's getting like so many chances. Like, what the fuck?
And he's crap.
He's shit. He's so bad.
Mate,
120 grand a week.
You take away his goals, not a good football player. He's just not.
Huh?
You said you take away his goals, he's not a good football player. From
what I've seen of him, his first touch, it's paedophile-esque. It's shocking. It's so bad.
He's fucking bad, man. What about you, Lucas? Saturday, striker.
For me, we're going to be at home. Southampton will most likely be sitting back trying to counter. I would start Gianluca Scamacca, personally. And then if things aren't going correctly, Antonio in the last 25, 30 minutes, I think would be perfect.
Wait, what was your reasoning for starting Scamacca?
Because I think we're going to have the ball a bit more. We're not going to really be too defensive. And I think Scamacca in a more... Because I think we will not dominate possession, but we will have most possession, I think. And I think Scamacca will thrive more than Antonio. If we were going to Southampton, I'd want to...
You've been convinced, Alf.
No, I haven't. No, I don't think we're going to.
If we were going to St. Mary's, I'd say Antonio. But at home, I want Scamacca because he can absolutely bang a ball.
Can he?
Better than Antonio.
He can do, Alf.
And he can, but
he can strike
away. Me, Lucas, and Mitch were there. Southampton away. We played incredible in that second half, and Scamacca just couldn't finish.
When Lucas got me a headlock for the goal,
and
I was like, that Rice goal was a banger.
It was good, yeah.
He scored. Lucas's pants fell down. Honestly, it was hysterical.
My pants fell down. I had Mitch in a headlock. Charlie was somewhere at the bottom.
I would say that my right hand was there. My left hand was wanking off Lucas, so his pants fell down.
Right.
Charlie's ass was in Mitch's face.
Fair enough.
And I was like,
Alfie was nowhere to be found.
Whatever floats
when I'm up here, I was thinking one up here. I'll be over there.
Listen, don't make me tell everyone about your bird, bruv. That's all I'm going to say. So shut the fuck up a minute. Right, who starts in the defence for you on Sunday?
Mate, you know what? I've been so not keeping up West Ham at all. I don't fucking care. Just not Cresswell.
Cresswell still in the progressive pass list.
I saw that earlier on, and I see Mitch literally want to throw himself through a fucking window.
Did you see it?
I see it. Yeah, literally wanted to throw his head through the window, mate. Do you know what I'm saying? What about you, Lucas? Who starts in defence for you?
I think we all know who has to start at a certain position on
what
the
fuck
side. I would go Emerson, Garrett, Zuma, and Soufal because Soufal seems to be back and ready to go.
Alfie, take that off. Alf.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what's going on with my team.
And Areola, of course.
Yeah.
Alfie? Is Alfie there? Oh, there we go.
Emerson, Aged, Zuma, Soufal, Rice, Paqueta, Souček, Bowen.
No, not Souček. The last couple of games, he's kind of dropped down a little bit again.
Well, you think Souček will start, Alf, on Sunday?
Yeah. He will start, won't he?
He'll start, unfortunately, yeah. I would love to just see Paqueta, Fornals, and Rice just in that midfield, just once, just see how it goes.
Yeah, I agree on that. How do you think it's going to go on Sunday, Mitch, for you?
I think we're going to win 1-0.
You reckon?
I was going to say that. It's going to be cagey.
Me and Lucas, in terms of score predictions, we're like that.
I'm telling you, and Mitch always has the upper hand because I always seem to go second. And he's gonna be like, "Oh, you're just stealing my score predictions."
Well, they did beat us last time at the LS. They beat us fucking 3-2. So, they did.
I'm nervous and a bit shaky.
I'll be really nervous Sunday.
What about you, Alf? Who do you reckon will
I'm so glad I don't give a fuck about West Ham a minute until Sunday. It's just I just want to watch John Wick 4. That's all I want to do.
We will wrap this up in about 8 minutes' time, Alf, so don't worry. So, what do you reckon, Alf, in regards of how it's going to go on Sunday for you?
Mr. Moyes will get the win for the happies, I think.
For the gloomies.
They will start on the front foot. The first 20 minutes or so, you'll see a lot of passes between Coletta Carr and the rest of the Southampton defence. I think Bella Kotchap will pick up the ball. I project them to have about 63% possession in the first 20 minutes. Suddenly, West Ham will start to turn it up as the crowd starts to get louder. Saeed Benrahma will get on the ball and Declan Rice will come into the game. Jared Bowen will come to life on the right-hand side. Then I see
the 4-year-old's bedtime.
This is the weirdest poem of all time.
Then Mikel Antonio will come to life in the final third. Mikel will pick the ball up with his back to play, and suddenly he'll bring others into play. But will Thomas Souček have?
You're never going to be able to turn a woman on talking like that.
I think Thomas Souček. Oh, it's gone. I think Thomas Souček will be the one to affect this game. His big head and his meaty feet could be the thing that tricks the opposition today. At right back, I think Vladimir Southampton will come back in an eager.
This is wincing.
It is bad, mate.
Score to be around.
Alf, cut.
Second half.
Where's my gun?
Just let him finish.
My gun's taken a nap for a few weeks.
Second half, Jared Bowen picks up the ball. He arrives into the Southampton penalty area. A deflected shot and it lands.
Alf, that's enough now. That's enough. That's enough.
Benrahma's put it wide. Another big chance missed by Benrahma. Antonio will win the game for West Ham 1-0. It will be a deflected shot and it will go into the far right corner. But Luke, America, will be another male.
Oh, fuck me.
Alf, will you shut the fuck up? You psychopathic bastard, honestly.
My gun's gone. Someone's nicked it.
Someone's nicked the old shooter out. He's covered. Do you know what I mean?
Someone's nicked it. I'm about to get done fucking back.
Right. So that's Alfie's assessment, right? Because he talks some fucking shit.
I wouldn't call that an assessment.
It's not draw.
Oh, mate, that is just.
Mitch, don't hold it up to the camera now. Because look what I'm going to do. Hold it up quick. Hold it up.
BHN, you motherfucker! Punk! Nashville.
Right.
Cunt.
Are you mentally fucking disturbed tonight or what? Fucking hell. Please do subscribe to the channel. It does go a long way. You know what I mean? Alfie's not like a normal prick like he normally is. Right, we will wrap it up there. Do you know what I'm saying, I think? Lucas looks destroyed. Mitch looks normal, and Alfie looks like a mouse. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what.
Alfie's.
This panel is nowhere near the word normal. I would say this panel is disturbed.
Fuck off.
And he is one bad move away from me sending that fucking thing that he done live with his boat race there. So Alf, shut the fuck up.
Oh no.
You know what I mean? We don't talk about that. People want to know what Alfie is. Alfie's got like a hit list of people that just want to know what he looks like. They can't stand the fact that he's incognito.
That was very old.
Alfie's on the Underworld East London band.
Oh, I've had ink all over my hands because I've been playing with a pen. There's ink all over my hands.
Oh no!
Is that what you call it? Eh? Is it ink?
It's like it's like coming.
Well, it's Lucas's diarrhea again. The explosive American strikes again.
Salmon rice is that, Lucas?
Mate, Alfie, you are mentally disturbed, but
rice granules.
We like it.
A lot or a weird
nails.
I haven't got anything like that, Rich, but he was on a big channel once upon a time with his little face out.
Filthy thieves. You're saying too much.
I know, mate. I know. And you're saying too much shit at all. So shut the fuck up. That would be a start. Do you know what I mean? But I'm going to wrap it up there, people, because another show is about to start on another channel. So I'm going to wrap this up before 9 o'clock.
Yeah, get yourself over to Forge from Irons.
That is it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah. Listen, please do special like on the video if you like Alfie's crap that he comes out with.
If you know what? If you feel inclined to dislike the video because of the last 5 minutes, you know what? We don't blame you.
Yeah,
but still like it.
No,
please.
but like it.
It's going to get dislikes. I know.
No, please
happens.
don't.
You know what? Give it a like, dislike, then another like.
Lee said it's been good. Snazzy's loved it.
See you later on, Alf. Then, obviously,
did you kick him out?
No, I haven't touched my hands are here. So, what a complete waste, man, mate. You wait till I see that little.
Show me your hands, James. Show me your hands.
Fucking put them up. Listen, I'm going to wrap this up there. Right, WestHamOnline does what he normally does, disappears in a discussion. But I will be back Thursday to do the clips video. I must admit, we've got some cracking clips. Some of them are absolutely bangers, right, from before. Right, some of them haven't even been shown like by me on Twitter or anything. And I literally was on the WhatsApp group the other day going through them all, and some of them are absolute pucker. So yeah, I'm going to do that Thursday night. Time will be shown on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, you will see it on there. Please smash a like on the video and subscribe to the channel.
It's going to be good.
If you're,
hit the notification bell, please, as well.
Hit the notification bell, do all that stuff, become a member if you want. Thank you very much for the donations by Steve Bell and Lee. Really do appreciate it, mate.
Top man, Steve. Didn't see it. Thank you very much. You're top people. Do you know what I'm saying? And we will leave it at that. WestHamOnline is trying to get back in. I don't know why, because we're about to wrap it up, but I'll let him back in for his final say. Fucking
online, what do you want to say, mate?
You'll never walk alone.
Oh.
There it is. I've never found a love like this.